The white wizards are cunty. What's up, everyone? My name's Fantastic Frankie, and I just finished the second installment of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Two Towers. And I wanted to give you guys my thoughts because it's a lot. I think The Fellowship of the Rings was an excellent first installment. I got a good sense of all of the characters' personalities and the gravity of the situation. So coming into this movie, I knew things were gonna go down, but not on the level that it is right now. Let's start off with Gandalf. As I mentioned before, he is cunty. And I'm not gonna lie, I really like that about him. I love how when they first meet up with Gandalf the White, he's like, oh, Gandalf, who's that?
Gandalf.
And then immediately he's like, oh, it me.
That was what they used to call me.
I love the scene where Gandalf the White is confronting the king that's possessed by Saruman, and how Saruman's all like, oh, Gandalf the Grey, you have no power here. And Gandalf's like, bitch, I'm Gandalf the White now, the fuck? And just from then on, he always has this kind of like mischievous tone to him, which I think he had before, but I definitely felt it more now that he has the power of being a white wizard. And the fact that he beat that big fire monster, he's like, bitch, like who's finna touch me? I'm falling more in love with each hobbit, and I can't figure out which one I like the most. For a long time, I thought it was Pitt because he has this like childlike quality about him. No, I just felt really drawn to Pippin. He's like best boy to me. But Merry and Sam are catching up very quickly. It was very interesting to me to see Merry take that more serious tone, especially when he started the recruitment process for those big sentient trees. It hit me so hard when the trees were like, hey, you should go home. And Pip is like, yeah, let's go home. Merry tells him that, hey, we can't go home. We either die trying to make this right, or we die at home, but no matter what, we finna die if we don't do anything. It was also interesting to see Pip manipulate the trees, because as I mentioned, I always saw Pip as this like innocent person. So to see him use his wits to convince the trees to join him was fire.
With you.
In Fellowship of the Rings, I was Team Legolas all day. Just something about him always being clean, seeing him gracefully shoot bow and arrows, and his blossoming relationship with Gimli. I really was Team Legolas. But god damn it, did Aragorn quickly become my king. I realize now that this is the man that Jon Snow was supposed to be. He's just the embodiment of positive masculinity. He's kind, he's open, and the man got hands. Now you guys may think I'm saying that because of that scene where he comes into the throne room soaking wet, but it was actually that scene with Gimli in the Battle of Helm's Deep that really hooked me. Just seeing him empower his comrade with a quick, tender moment, and then both of them get to work, it had me screaming. But even before then, I started to become protective of him because they kept on calling Aragorn poor. And in my head, I was like, y'all don't know this is the future king? Why y'all talking to him like this? Just because his gear is whack, he gonna fix that. We at war right now. Sauron is on his way. Y'all worried about gear and drip. That being said, while I understand why Eowyn was so thirsty over Aragorn, I could not stand her. She was just giving me pick me energy. Like, I get it. Dude was fine and you wanted a piece of that. So do I. But after he was like, yo, I got a girl, I don't want this, she should have moved on. You force feeding him water bread is not gonna get him to leave his elf. Move on, girl, you got other things to worry about. I keep on hearing I'm gonna like her in the next movie, and I'm sure, but right now I'm not feeling the introduction or the energy around her. Sam and Frodo having to rely on Gollum is such an L. Could you imagine if they were like, hey, we need you to infiltrate the Pentagon, but this crackhead is your guy? This is also why I can't figure out who is my favorite hobbit, because I love seeing this darker side of Sam where he's distrustful to Gollum, especially since for the most part we see him, he's trustful, he's sweet, he's nice to everyone he encounters. But he know this crackhead dirty, and I feel him because Frodo, he don't get it. We in trouble. That being said, I feel like Frodo doesn't really get love, at least from what I've been seeing in my comments and what I've been researching. And I think it kind of plays into it feeling uncool to like the main protagonist. He still accepted this journey in which he was ready to dip. When he was in that elf place, he was like, yo, thank God I gotta go. And once he realized that he was the only one to truly do it, he said yes with no problem. And he knows he's probably gonna die. I think that's something that we should commend. That battle at Helm's Deep was insane. There were just so many great moments where our main protagonists were just cooking. Legolas with that shield taking out orcs, them having to actually grab Gimli off the battlefield because he wouldn't stop fighting, Gimli and Aragorn jumping over to the bridge and clearing it out so they could patch up the wall. Also, I need to know who is the engineer for the orcs because their equipment is incredible. I'm not gonna lie, they're actually really good strategists. Everyone kind of writes them off as like these just dumb savages who fight, but there's clearly some intelligence here. And I think a piece of that battle savvy is the fact that they're expendable. From them using a bomb and not having to worry about some of their soldiers dying, for them using soldiers as covers and then knocking them off the sides with a barricade so they can get through the main door, they were not playing. And their equipment was all really good. They had the ladders that like latched on and they had bombs. Like, what is going on? Honestly, this was an incredible ride with great payoffs. And I understand why so many people came to me and said this is their favorite movie. I personally liked the first one, thought it was close to perfect. I'm gonna get it 5 out of 5 Frankie Flames. And until next time, have a fantastic week, my friends.